Hi, Jacob George Robertson here, and this is Jacob King Solutions Manager for Insured Mine. And Jacob, is glad to have you here. We're with the Young Agents of South Carolina. If you want to say hello to everybody.
Hey, George. Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. And I just want to start. Insured Mine has really focused on independent agents. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The talk today, the discussion we're having with everybody here is InsureTech, disruption in the force. Is InsureTech a friend or a foe? You guys have really been on the friend side of independent agents. And one of the things that we find is technology as a whole has kind of failed agents. And tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are with that, and maybe the top 3 technology solutions we should be looking for to prepare for the future.
Great question, George. Great question. And again, thank you for having me. Thank you for posing these questions, because every agent needs to be thinking about these things, but far too many people are kind of burying their head in the sand and they'll put it off later. They're just going to, live their life feeding off those renewals until they go away, and that's not a strategy for success. To answer your question, George, we do think that in a way technology has failed agents, but it's more from a utilization perspective than it is from a solutions perspective. The solutions are out there. You just have to find them. You just have to use them. You'll notice that companies like Geico, direct writers, they're putting a huge emphasis on technology, and they're the ones driving that, and they're the ones taking the market share because of it. The independents, we think, obviously we're very bullish on the independent agent, if you'll forgive the pun.
Yeah, I was noticing over your left shoulder that there's a huge bull. I thought maybe you were doing the running for the bulls or something, but yeah, that's I can tell you're definitely bullish.
We are, and we really think that that the independent agents are providing value, and we think that if they find the technology solutions, and we'd love to visit with them about some of the things we're doing, that they will continue to be a force in the marketplace to be reckoned with.
And to that degree, there's a lot of buzz about data and data analytics, and how do we get in and manage that information to use it to our advantage. Tell us a little bit more about what you guys do in regards to the data analytical part.
Sure. And it's important to think about, what kinds of data are there? There's so many kinds of data. Ultimately, the data that should be important to the agents does 2 things. It's data that helps you retain an account, and it's data that helps you sell more to that account. How do you increase that account's value? Agents have a huge amount of data on their clients. Some of it is intuitive. It's data that's built up over a period of years through that relationship with the client, because ultimately this is a relationship-based business. And other kinds of data are much more easily quantified. And what we've built is a system for sales, engagement, analytics, and mobility that really maximizes all of that data that agents have kind of locked up in their agency management systems, because agency management systems today are frequently kind of safety deposit boxes for data. We're going to partner with you with your existing systems, and we're going to be the checkbook for that data. And if you're not able to really visualize your data, you cannot track what you cannot see.
I love that. So speaking to that regard, could you show us an example of what you do with the data from a visualization standpoint?
Absolutely, George. I would love to. So first, again, we're going to partner and kind of plug into your existing systems, and we're going to make that data visual, whether it's plotting your book of business geographically so you can identify client clusters, which I think impacts sales as well as service, knowing exactly who may have been impacted by a weather event, for example, or finding out, hey, maybe I've got a particular product that's starting to do really well in an area that I haven't had business before. So maybe I need to buy a leads list from that area, do some door knocking, some mailing, something like that. Or if it's finding out what you don't know, we can do that. What we call negative data. But we also combine working in and on the business. So through this policies by line graph, whether it's policy count or premium, you can very easily, very quickly segment your data see a policy count, a premium value, and go directly to a bulk message to target those people. Or if it's handling your renewals, breaking it down by line of business. George, one thing you'll notice is everything in our system is 3 clicks or less. So we're increasing your efficiency while also making it much more likely that you're going to actually spend the few moments to see and understand what's happening in the business, because in our system, it really is just a few moments. You're not clicking.
Right. And Jacob, to that degree right there where you've got the policies, you've got the different months coming out by expiration, you've broken those out by line of business of what's coming up in the next month. So you could actually get a visualization of, how many policies you have in a certain line of business coming up for the next month, the following month, and kind of get that visualization of that information.
Absolutely. So you could break it down by line, you could get the whole month. But also a key benefit, kind of an unintended consequence of doing it this way, is intuitively an agency owner or an office administrator or manager, I should say, they know that, hey, in June, I need less people working renewals than I do in November. The flip side is, that, hey, in May, I'm probably making less money than I am in December. So it just, putting it this way really, really helps and simplifies your day-to-day and increases the understanding of your business. But we also think about data and present data that traditional systems are not addressing, like clients by age. Every agency owner needs to have a good understanding of this, but far too many have no idea. So they find themselves sitting on a shrinking book, for example.
That's a good point. Now, Jacob, let's talk about one more thing here, because we're kind of getting close to end of time. But
okay.
You guys focused on independent agents. I'm really curious because a lot of the insured techs I'm talking to today, they're talking about trying to put the independent agent out of business, but you guys really started to focus in on that area. Why did you do that?
Great question, George. Thank you for asking that. So my background is as an independent agent myself. I've been there. I've done that. I built an agency. Had a lot of great experiences doing that, working with clients. We truly believe that the independent agent is the best way to evaluate and address the risks that most people face. And we don't think that the independent agent is going away. Again, we're bullish on it. We think that if independent agents take over and become the driving force behind technology, it'll allow them to address the generational shifts that are occurring in agencies from one generation to another. It'll help them address the changing demographics in the average insurance consumer, and it will help them continue to be a huge force in the marketplace. And we really encourage agents to be that force, because ultimately, what do you want to do? Do you want to promote a carrier's app or a carrier's technology, or do you want to promote yourself and your brand? We think that the value is in promoting yourself and your brand and continuing to be the advocate for your clients that you are today. So George, thank you for having us, really.
Oh, absolutely. We appreciate it. Wish we had more time, and maybe we can do something else on a webinar later. But thank you so much, Jacob, and InsuredMine for spending this time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you, George.